co-hosts Jamie Wojcik and Tim Morse.
Hello.
We've got quite a fun show today. We will be reviewing Fantastic Four Full Circle.
Oh, I can't wait to review this. I'm going last, by the way.
Jamie, I don't trust you anymore when you tell me that you have differing opinions before we go on air, because the last time I did, I got foiled. So
don't worry. Today's gonna be a good one.
I'm looking forward to it. I think it is an interesting story to review. And yeah, so today we will be having Ruby Thursday join the F list. We'll be having random panel of the week. It deals with somebody flashing somebody.
That's super.
It is. And we got some comic book news, some castings, some comic books coming this way. And everyone, we are on the countdown to 100. We're in episode 98, so we're almost there. Almost at 100.
I'm excited.
Podcast.
Yeah.
Who would have thought we hit 100?
We did. From the beginning, we knew.
Yeah, we knew we just didn't know how we would get there.
Yeah. A lot has happened. So coming up with ideas, trying to think of how we could make something special for 100 for everybody.
Well, I don't know. We got a lot of new people taking seats that aren't new, that are part of the podcast family now, and that's pretty awesome. So maybe we can do something with them too.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. So we'll make sure that it is something special for everyone.
Except Zeb Wells.
See, Tim, we didn't bring him up. You brought him up.
I really have this feeling that when Tim's sleeping at night, he wakes up in a cold sweat. He's like, Zeb Wells, leave me alone.
One blames it on everybody else.
One night when Gang Wars started, I realized there were maps in the book, and I went to sleep in a cold sweat and woke up in a colder sweat, and I was like, fucking maps. So there you go.
He woke up, the book was open next to him. He's like, no, I read it. How did I retain the information?
I already burned this book. How did it come back? Damn that Zeb Wells.
Just burned into your mind. It will never leave you.
God, I can't wait for him to get off Amazing Spider-Man. Sorry. So there we go.
Yeah, get him off. Let's just get Donny Cates on there since he almost died.
Yes, please. Come on.
Or just jump to DC and start writing Green Lantern for me.
Yeah, there you go.
Is Zeb Wells writing Green Lantern?
No. I'd like the Lantern title to be around forever.
Sonny, we can't cuss on the podcast.
Yeah.
You just did like 1 minute ago. I've been good watching my language the whole time.
Sonny's just kicking back. These guys are retarded.
Oh, Lord. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the pre-show. It's so good to have you here.
It is. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We'll chat, like I said, for maybe another 10 minutes or so, and then we'll get started with the actual show.
Yeah.
Oh, so a little bit on the hunt for you, Sonny. Put a bid in for an issue of Uncanny X-Men that I am in desperate need of. It's one of the more pricier ones, but I found a good copy on eBay. Not going to tell you what it is until it comes in the mail.
Then why talk about it?
To build suspense.
This is a tale. So this is Tales of Suspense at this point.
No, this is Uncanny X-Men, but it is a tale of suspense because, I put a bid on it and he accepted, and it was a reasonable price, and it should be here by next week.
Oh, but so you did get it. You did win it.
Yes,
though, right?
I got it. Absolutely.
You can say the name. You can name the.
Hey,
I thought you didn't want to say it because you didn't want anybody.
Every time he goes to show it, this is what's going to happen.
Perfect. Hey,
guys, Tim, remember when you were going to show us the one you won? Yeah.
Tim, it's going to be like issue 415, 416, and Tim froze.
Yeah, I'm froze. Yeah, my computer froze. So there's that.
At least it's the pre-show, so
that's true.
Aw, Tim. See, even the internet's pissed. He won't tell us what it is.
Yeah. And now we hear his computer doing something.
Yeah. Stop it.
We just see Tim's image there.
Tim just keeps messaging, I'm frozen.
Let's see. I'm gonna check that too.
Ugh.
I hear him. I just see
Yeah.
the same picture.
You can hear me. You just can't see me.
No.
I just see the same image.
Disable your. There you go.
There. Oh, he's moving.
There I am, ladies and gentlemen. I was stuck in a time paradox. I don't know how long I was gone, but I am glad to be back. Am I still out? Can you hear me?
No, we can hear you.
Okay,
good.
good.
I hear you. Yeah. I was just checking. Just some of the.
No, they were. Wes was showing us the fun of, what we're gonna be talking about later.
Yeah, I was seeing that too.
So,
but
no. Other than that, how has everybody been? What's everyone been up to? Anything new and exciting?
But doing pretty good. The episodes of the Code X podcast, and earlier I put in the message about some interviews I had, and I said one went great, and one I hung up on. So I'm like, I'm looking forward to telling you guys about that in our works.
You hung up on one?
Yes. Every now and then, when you're working towards the dream, you come across annoying people trying to get money out of you.
All they want's that cheddar.
You're like literally talking. So when are you gonna send that check?
Remember that scene that I could have been in? Yeah, I need you to pay me for that.
Yeah.
Remember
when you came on the podcast and we said that we didn't ask for money? Yeah, so you're gonna pay us during the show?
This episode is brought to you by No, followed by Get Out.
This show is brought to you by letter F, so fuck off.
Oh, there it is.
It's a pre-show. No one watches this shit.
That's right. Somebody was here and then they left.
And they just left.
They saw Tim frozen. They're like, that's enough.
They're having technical issues. Such amateurs. They're gone.
Yes.
I will not even give them my 30 seconds. Well, guess what, sir and or madam? You already did by trying to figure it out.
All right. But you guys about ready to start the main show?
Yeah.
I'm pretty good with it. I'm ready to go.
Okay. So no groovy bass tones. So, Sonny, you get to choose between 30 seconds or a minute.
Rather than 30 seconds.
30 seconds?
To Mars.
Okay, here we go.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Code X podcast. As usual, I'm your host, Sonny Kruger, and joining me today are my usual co-hosts, Jamie Wojcik and Tim Morse. He's back to the original three today.
That's right.
Glad to have you guys here. We are on the countdown to 100, as this is episode 98 of the Code X podcast. A colorful disaster is headed your way when we review Fantastic Four Full Circle later on. There'll be some more colors, especially something red, when we get to our F-lister of the day, Ruby Thursday. And then before that, we have a random panel of the week. Somebody's going to be flashing somebody. Calm down. But we have our works. Codex has been up to a lot with a lot of interviews. And then, we get us started as usual with comic news, the rundown, all that good stuff.
Here we go.
Just Tim, hit that button. Start us off with the rundown. There's been some castings, and first was casting rumor. It hasn't been set yet, but so far people are saying that Louis Pullman is set to replace Stephen Yeun as Sentry in the Thunderbolts movie. Louis Pullman is the son of Bill Pullman, and he's been seen in quite a few shows like Lessons in Chemistry and The Walking Dead. So he may be getting that part. He seems to be pretty popular, so he may be Sentry, but as we know, the movie, it's going to be a while before that comes out. For that, also, a big news, this is set to be in the movie, and that is that Millie Alcock from House of the Dragon is set to play Supergirl in the Superman Legacy movie. So
I'm actually
a
going to
lot of
get
talk
that
about that.
picture that Wes put up there to show what she might look like, so that way people got a better idea.
Yeah, so some AI fan art seeing how Millie would look as Supergirl. But as Tim pulls that up, in other news, the band The Midnight is set to have their own comic book, and The Midnight is a more synthwave band. And Tim, as you find that picture, I can tell you a little more about The Midnight. Not too sure if you guys are familiar with their music.
I am not.
So it's more synthwave. It sounds more like 80s style, and there's been a lot of videos online where people like to use their music for like tributes to the 80s and things like that. And I actually do like the music. Hello to Jamie Zimmer. Hello,
Hello.
Wayne. And with the Midnight, their comic is called The Midnight Shadow. And I'll read from IGN. It says The Midnight Shadow or Shadows. The Midnight Shadows is written by Zach Kaplan from Beyond Real, Kill All Immortals, and is illustrated by Stephen Thompson, the UFC fighter. No, not the UFC fighter. By Stephen
Wonder Boy?
Thompson, who has worked on Star Trek Year 5, and Janoy Lindsay, who's worked on Superboy, The Man of Tomorrow. And it says the creative team is also set to include colorist Tiago Rocha and letterer DC Hopkins. The book will be published by Dark Horse. And now what it says it's about is it says The Midnight Shadows draws on a number of characters and concepts from past albums of the band. The story centers on the nostalgia-obsessed Jason, the eponymous subject of the track Jason from the 2016 album Endless Summer. Facing the prospect of fatherhood and its various challenges and responsibilities, Jason retreats back into a beloved childhood game called The Midnight. As the story unfolds, Jason will have to choose between his carefree digital utopia and the real world looming large, and that is set to come out as a full book on October 1st in bookstores and then in comic book stores October 2nd.
Nice.
So I'm interested in that, especially maybe too with the story Claire. It's been making me think about it because the colors kind of look alike, and something like I said, but in the future it seems like, and it's not like a superhero story, but something more sci-fi. And like I said, I listened to the band, so that's something I would like to check out.
It reminds me of like Coheed and Cambria, if you've ever listened to them.
I've met the band.
Oh, right on. There you go. Then you know what I'm talking about. A lot of their stuff's concept albums, and they have comic books that accompany the books. So that's cool that The Midnight is doing something like that with characters created in their albums. I'll check that out, and I'll check their music out too.
Yeah. No, definitely.
Yeah,
I mean, it comes. You kind of see it with most bands. Like I know Iron Maiden had a series. They had Kiss had a series. Pretty sure Metallica had one at one point.
Those unofficial comic books that go over their history or whatever.
Yeah. Those are just like Kiss Save Santa, that shit. So.
But the band, I do like the band, and even one of their songs, Vampires, is in one of my stories called Dangerous Nights. I made that they're at a club, and that's one of the songs playing. So I said, look at that, a band I like, and now they're getting a comic book, which I love comics.
That's cool.
Tim, were you able to get that picture yet of Millie Alcock as Supergirl?
Yeah, so take a peek at this. This is a concept of what she could look like as Supergirl. Take a peek at that, guys.
There you go. And with that, I think it looks good. If that is how it is, I mean, like I said, that is through AI, but
yeah, that's not going to be what the suit looks like or anything like that. But that is definitely gives you a really good idea on what she'll look like.
Yeah, I think she does look like that. That is how her face looks.
Exactly. Yeah, I think visual wise, it looks perfect. I'm excited to see what she can do. I know in House of Dragons, she was amazing in that, and I have no doubts that she won't put exceptional talent into the role of Supergirl.
Oh,
yeah,
100%.
Yeah, she really showed in House of the Dragon that she's a great actress, and that I think she was in stuff before, but more like I'm not too sure if it was in England or Australia, but that got her known internationally with House of the Dragon. So she'll bring a lot of fans to checking out the Supergirl. Well, she'll be Supergirl in the Superman movie, but it does say that she is set to be Supergirl in the movie
Yes.
Woman of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
And that one is set to be based off of Tom King's 2022 series.
Yeah.
And that's something that James Gunn said that, whereas Superman, he had a good life. He was raised, by, Jonathan and Martha Kent. He was pretty sheltered. Whereas Supergirl, she saw Krypton and everyone she loves die. Whereas he said she's going to have a more darker story and that she's going to be hardcore. So.
Yeah. Well, I did see James Gunn did post a little, like, I don't know if it would say teaser, but he showed the storyboards.
Oh, the boxes.
Yeah, and he's like, I just got a couple storyboards for Superman, and it's like 4 boxes just filled of storyboards. So I was like, at least they're like actually getting to work, and he's involved in it. Like,
from my understanding, they are right on the verge of filming. Like, they are in pre-production right now, ready to go into main production, I think, within the next 4 weeks.
I'm hoping this is the surgeons that DC needs to actually, like, destroy that overall concept that Marvel has this great formula.
Yeah.
Like, if he brings in his own touch, I think it's going to be amazing throughout. It's just, like, the casting so far, there's been some questionable people that he's brought that I'm like, but I mean, if you see what he's done with Guardians and everything else he's done, like he did, I think it was, if I'm not mistaken.
Hello, Stale. Still in the comments.
Yeah, Brightburn.
Brightburn was really good. Have you seen it?
Yes, I own it.
Yeah.
So good.
And I think he did that.
Yeah, he produced it.
He produced it. So even him on that alone it just makes me more giddy to see what he's going to do with the DCU moving forward.
Yeah.
But there's one thing that I wanted to actually bring up. There is one more little piece of news. But they did say that they're ready to release Deadpool 3 trailer during the Super Bowl.
That's right.
Ooh, that's awesome.
So my question then is, since the last Deadpool, right, when they did the trailer for that, they hyped up the X-Force so much in it, and then they were there for like 30 seconds and all got killed.
Now, from my understanding, the Japanese synopsis kind of teased what the movie was going to be about. Like they put it out there, and it sounds interesting. I don't want to say it on air for anybody that wants to stay as spoiler free as possible.
Yeah, but do you guys think that they're going to try to pull like a ruse, kind of like what they did with the second one? Kind of like almost what they did with Avengers Endgame, where they were showing like Hulk just being Hulk when really he was in the Hulkbuster.
I hope so. I really do. I hope they bring in a bunch of characters and cameos and wipe most of them out. I think that would be hilarious. That would be fantastic.
Because remember, it wasn't that long ago we were sitting there, and it would seem like every week there was another person that's part of the Deadpool 3 cameo appearances. Like,
I hope to God they bring Taylor Swift in, not as Dazzler, but as Gwenpool or somebody totally different, just to piss everybody off. That would be great.
I think Dan Kelly would really like it, though. He's a big fan.
Dan would be a big fan of that. But my thing is, because everyone's like, oh, they're hyping up because Wolverine's got his costume. What if that's the first 5 minutes of the movie and he kills Wolverine?
I would not want that.
And then the rest of the movie, he has to search for a new Wolverine.
Oh my God, that would be
and
great.
That's how we get Wolverine in the MCU.
Oh man,
searches through the F list to find.
Jimmy, are you sure you're not dropping spoiler bombs right now?
Marvel and DC need to call me so they can get some writing.
Ladies and gentlemen, Sexy Codex Podcast at gmail.com. Care of Jamie.
Actually, it's a new email. The Codex Station Podcast at gmail.com.
There you go.
You guys, you don't hear me swear, Unlike Tim, I watch my language on the show. But if Wolverine died within like minutes of the movie, I'm pretty sure I would swear out loud in the theater. I would be furious.
I can see Sonny throwing his popcorn and walking out.
Pretty much, yeah.
This is trash, ladies and gentlemen. Just get up now and go home.
It literally just opens with them two fighting, and then Deadpool just kills them. and then kills the rest of the Cinnamon or the whole 20th Century Fox line. And then he's like, I'd laugh if it was like the Watcher. And he's like, I see what you're doing. You need to find the next Wolverine or the universe dies.
Oh
And the
my
whole
God.
movie is him just trying to find the next Wolverine.
Oh, wow.
I'm hoping Omega Red is the villain. I'm hoping they deal with Omega Red. That is my hope.
Hoping they deal with Wolverine now, just so I can get Sonny's reaction.
They're looking through Wolverines. They find what was the was it John Meador Jr.? Correct me if I'm wrong. The Wolverine before that we were talking about that looked horrible earlier this year.
Oh yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. That was
last year when I was shaving. When I shaved.
Oh,
Yeah.
Frank Miller.
Yeah, that's Frank Miller.
It was
Yeah.
Frank Miller. Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then every artist that was out there was like, "We work so hard, and you guys put this out."
Yeah, right.
Well, we will see. You know, we will update you on Deadpool 3, and
Yeah.
that's what I'm sure we will all see at the theater. That's one I'll be like, I need to see that one at
Oh,
the
yeah.
theater. I don't want to wait. I don't want to chance the spoilers.
Yeah.
Yeah, so guys, any more pieces of news, or do we want to jump onto some other stuff?
I think that's it.
Yep, I think that's about it.
Okay, then now we jump onto our works. Each night I've been working on a short story called 1900 Detective. You know, I love my writing. That always keeps me happy. But one thing that doesn't always keep me happy is sometimes interviews. Sometimes I have good interviews. Like I was interviewed on a podcast called The Golden Hour with Anna Gold. So it's set to come out next Tuesday. So interviewing me, talking a bit about my work, talking a bit about our work with our podcast. And, well, I shouldn't just say podcast, our station. And even played a bit of trivia. So it reminded me of the old Do You Know days. And you know I'm a bit competitive because I was like, wait, I'm like, how did I get that wrong? She's like, maybe I should look it up.
Maybe you should.
Maybe she's like, was I wrong? And then I was like, no, don't worry. It's just I got it wrong. I'm like, I have no one to blame but myself. Yeah.
Sam doesn't have the answers in front of him like he always does.
I guess I should have looked up. Is Bradley Cooper's age up there? There it is, 49. But then I had this other interview, which I was telling you guys about, which didn't go so good. This was to get me in a magazine. I don't know if I should say the name. I'm just going to say M's Who's Who in America. And so I did the research, right? And there's all these people in there, all kinds of people, from super famous to not so famous to making their way up. So they have me fill something out. It was because I did one of those other interviews. Like, hey, would you like to be included in this? Fill stuff out. Sure, I did it. Then I get this interview. I'm talking to, and what they were asking about, what really gets me mad is this interview. They were really focusing a lot about the Codex station. So I was talking about all of us and our shows, and even the woman, I mean, she was polite, and she even said, I noticed you say we a lot. And, you know, when you're talking about, you don't just say, oh, I did this, you say we. And I said, yes, because we run the station. We have many shows. It's not just me. I don't want it to be put down like, oh, I did this, I did that. We are a team. We are a station together. And, you know, and then, of course, then there was some stuff about my books and the show, you know, a series about a series. But, you know, I was thinking, like, it sounds too good. Like, she's like, oh, you're being included in the book. It shows up that. And I'm thinking, like, where's the but? Where's that point? And then it comes up, okay, you know, and you can get a plaque. I'm like, okay, plaques are not free. And she's okay, so that's for the standard, and then there's the premium. It's like,
Wow.
And then I'm like, okay, let me just hear her out. And she's like, okay, so the standard is $1,200 something dollars, and the premium is $1,500 something. Like, this book isn't. No, this is like a book that's like $150. They come out with one every year. I'm like, oh, with all that money. So I was very annoyed. And then I'm like, oh, you know, so what should I put you down for? And what should, you know, take, you know, take the card number. And, you know, one thing is I don't give my card number over the phone for anything.
Hey, Sonny, call me later.
I will not give you my number. I don't say that
Just
stuff over
hold
the
it up
phone.
to the screen right now.
Yeah, yes.
Okay. To show you that I'm not afraid. No. But yeah, so then when she said, I said, oh, you know, actually, could you just send me the info and I'll look it over? And she's like, oh, no, we're a big company, so we don't do back and forth through email. So I'm going to need. And I hung up.
That's not how that works.
That's not how it works. I do not take that. But like I said, there was an interview. I was like, dang, I did a lot of nice talking with the Codex station. It's all gone now.
Well, no, it's not, because you did some of it here.
Yeah, so I did a little bit of venting here. But like I said, other interviews went good. The other one with the Golden Hour with Anna Gold went good. But also last week, me and Dan, we had a good interview with Patrick Hickey Jr. So they
Yeah.
should be coming out. Yeah, we talked about all kinds of things. And Patrick Hickey Jr., he's interviewed all kinds of people too. Like, not only does he make comics, but, he was telling us how he interviewed, Paul Walker, Channing Tatum, and
Wow.
quite a few people, the Ultimate Warrior. And then also, you guys had quite an interview, but I see there's TJ in the comments. And TJ, I came prepared for you because boom, there we go. Hulk 180. I was like, knew Hulk 180 was going to get brought up. I was like, I'm going to have it right next to me.
He doesn't
There
have
we
to,
go.
TJ. He already owns a facsimile of it.
So there we go. But yeah, so me and Dan had a good interview with Patrick Hickey Jr., but you guys had an interview or an episode of Comics Unleashed when you had Brandon from Mon Comics on there.
Yeah,
So
That's
I'd
right.
like to hear a bit more about that, you guys. It seemed it was fun. It was a good episode.
it was a great episode. We all just talk, and it's like more of a community than ever before.
Oh yeah, a friendship bond was formed that night. If it wasn't from the end of the year episode we did over on his channel when he came over into our playground, we all got dirty. It was amazing.
Yeah, and now we talked, and every end of the year for Christmas we're gonna be collaborating for his show.
Yeah, that's
Cool.
great.
So great to hear. Like I said, good that all kinds of podcasts, especially our comic book. All of us, we love comic books, so it's nice that it could bring all of us together, and we don't have to compete with each other. There's no point for that. It's going to be work together. Everybody can help each other out,
build each other up.
Yeah,
I'm excited about it. I mean, Brandon's a great guy. The books he has on his back wall are something to be jealous of. His knowledge of comic books, especially giant sized man things, is extensive and great.
I like the Predator. I like the Predator mask he has.
Yeah, and he's a big Star Wars fan too. So there you go, Brandon. Thanks again, man, for coming on. It was a pleasure. It was awesome. It was amazing, and I can't wait to see you back here again.
Yeah, anytime, bud. Mike's always open.
Oh yeah.
And I know Dan Kelly has another interview coming up with Al Milgram. So that's if you're good.
He even said a lot of Firestorm questions.
Oh, yeah. Good. No, nothing wrong with that.
I think that's Friday, so he should have it. Should be done by next week or the following, I would say.
So the kids today would say that interview will be fire.
Oh, Sonny. Oh, snap.
Why don't I like that?
Because it's the younger generation that's a lot younger than us. So
no, I mean I say fire, but like the way you just said it just made me just cringe. Like you're like
maybe because I should just stick with the classic stuff, right?
Yeah. Totally tubular, bro.
Oh my
exactly,
God.
dude.
Yeah.
So let's rock on and continue with our rockin' random panel of the week.
There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, check this out.
Boom! Superman says, "What is this? Why did you drag me into this old closed-off section of the station?" And the Flash says, "Hold still a minute." Well, I'm guessing the Flash might not have said it exactly like that, but I said it word for word.
Oh my God, Sonny.
So that is our random.
You don't have to swear for this to feel like not a family-friendly show.
Oh my Lord.
But
I'm just saying, I felt violated just the way you said it.
it's
like I feel like I need to
those
put out a
skills.
police report.
So
if I'm not here next week, you know why? That means Jamie put in that police report.
Jamie, can you give us a description of what the voice sounded like that violated you?
Yes, this man right here.
Well, if you go watch episode 98, you'll hear it for yourself.
And see it.
The picture was covering up. Show us where the voice hurt you.
Yeah. The cops watch. They're like, I feel violated too.
Oh my God.
So guys, what do you think is going on with don't swat me. Don't have me swatted.
Clark is powerless. He's trapped against a wall, and the Flash is taking advantage of said powerlessness to show him just
now
how.
The real question is the Flash vibrating at this moment.
Well, let me say that again, but have my phone vibrating as I say his
Oh,
line.
my Lord.
No.
Ladies and gentlemen.
But for me, I was trying to look up like where is it from? I'm surprised I didn't come across more bad things. I was like, why did the Flash Superman? So I was lucky that I didn't
Oh
come
my
across.
god, I can see the Google searches now.
Yeah, I'm surprised I didn't come across anything too bad. So I don't know anybody. Maybe I should have done more research. So careful if you try to find that. But I was not able to find which issue it was. But my guess is that Superman for some reason couldn't tell that was the Flash, and he's trying to say like, "Look, it's me, the Flash." But
It's so odd. He's got the gold wings and
yeah,
he's wearing a red thing, but there's a hat and a trench coat.
yeah, probably not him. Yeah,
I'm confused.
and the
It's
big nose
Raphael
over
from
the
the Ninja
mask
Turtles.
and the mustache could be anybody.
Where do they come up with this stuff?
Oh my god.
Yeah, and I picked it. Yeah, I was like, a while ago, Jamie, when you put it online is the random panel of the week, and I was like, I forgot that. I'm like, we haven't discussed it. So I'm like, you know what? I think this is the perfect time for us to discuss. Yeah, the flashing Superman,
My
Yeah.
Lord.
or just undressing. His buddies do sometimes. Sometimes
Ladies and
you're in a
gentlemen.
rush and you just gotta get undressed, and your buddy's there just randomly.
Just wait till the F list, guys. That's going to be
I
even
don't
more awesome.
feel comfortable doing this episode anymore for some reason. Like, I feel like I need a shower.
Oh,
Save it. You might have to save it till the end because things might get a little more dirty, especially when we get to Ruby Thursday.
wow.
Well, you
And
know
that-
what's I was gonna say, you know what's not dirty?
What
W.
is that?
Our sponsor W Energy, because it is the cleanest form of energy you can find on the market today.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Go check them out at w.gg. Guys, use the code word code-X at checkout and save yourself 10% on any order. Definitely get the sample pack. It's coming with the new flavors and the shaker and so much more. So remember, that code does work also on the sample pack. So go to w.gg, get your energy that you need to make it through the day, like we use every day, everyone here at the station, and use the keyword code-X at checkout. Save that money.
Right on.
Yeah. When you get some energy, you could even take yourself to the comic book store and get yourself some comic books. Like, Tim, what is a comic shop that you recommend?
Aha. So, our second sponsor for tonight's episode, ladies and gentlemen, you've heard me talk about them all month long. That is Nirvana Comics in Knoxville, Tennessee. They are my exclusive comic shop. Grant, Jasmine, the entire Nirvana Comics team, go there. They've got a comic for everybody, and they want to make sure that you get that comic book. Right there, NirvanaComicsKnoxville.com is their website, or you can head on over to the address right there. They are open Monday through Sunday, 7 days a week, ladies and gentlemen. What comic store is open on a Sunday? None that I know of, except for that one right there. So head on over to Nirvana Comics in Knoxville, Tennessee, if you are in the area.
You know what you can get some comic books of? With more certain characters are during the F list today.
So, yeah.
Hit another button, please.
Ugh, the button, the dreaded button. You got to give me those cues, Sonny, or I don't know what to do.
No
I
problem.
think we need to start laying off. Hit the button.
Just
Make
be
it
like,
more fluid. No.
hit that thing.
Yeah.
Time to touch that thing.
Yeah.
Well, hey,
Like the Flash.
that will
Yeah.
work.
Here we go. Our F lister for today is Ruby Thursday, and there she is. Now, if you decide not to just look at her body, it's very shapely, you'll see she has a ruby quartz head. And there she is. Look, it gets even smaller. And she says, "Stand back, Dr. Morgan. I'll handle this." And see, she has
my
tentacles coming out of that little red ball of a head she has.
How could she talk?
Yeah, the crazy thing is she is able to talk and see and eat with that little head. Look at that. Look at her legs in this picture. And then look at her head. Her head is like, what is that? The size of a baseball or a little bit bigger?
I have no idea.
Look at that. And even through her head, there's a hand that came out and she's talking.
Wow, that's wonderful.
Ruby Thursday.
You gotta have life goals.
And here's Ruby Thursday when she was dealing with Spider-Man. Look at that. Spider-Man says, "Excuse excuse a personal question, but aren't you dead? And Ruby Thursday replies, I was wall crawler, but in the immortal words of Monty Python, I got better. And then she hits him.
Wow.
Yeah. Great. Look at it. And there she is. Like, you were very glib, Spider-Man. Time you were punctured, and then shoots a bunch of
Oh,
arrows out of her head.
what a villainous line to say.
And here she is when she met Shandu, and he was like, "Look at that." Even Shandu says, "Nice to meet you. That is most of you is very attractive." And she says, "Thank you." She says, "Thank you. I also find your body intriguing." And then she turns her head into lips and gives him a little kiss.
Oof. Close associates.
Oh, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, everybody! Valentine's Day is coming up. You know, you could be looking for dates. Ruby Thursday is there. But before I tell you a little bit about Ruby Thursday, would any of you like to guess?
Jamie, this is all you,
Oh,
buddy.
I'm back. I'm back.
Oh,
Mine's
you're
gonna be
back.
short and
A while.
sweet. I'm gonna make this real simple, ladies and gentlemen. Time for story time with Jamie. I'm gonna come here for this. So, Ruby Thursday. Give me a second. I got this. So, it just came to me. So, as a young child, she loved Ruby Tuesdays and would go frequently with her family until a horrible murder happened at Ruby Tuesdays, which they did not refund her meal. So from that moment on, Ruby became Ruby Thursdays in the pursuit of avenging her family's death through criminal activity.
My God.
And just for copyright infringement, she called herself Ruby Thursdays and made her head this organic sphere to manipulate all and make them realize that Ruby Tuesdays does not exist anymore.
I've had it. My head is gone, and in its place will be this red orb that manifests into whatever I want.
All right, Jamie. There is no mention of when she was a kid, so you might be right with that. But I'll tell you a little bit about Ruby Thursday.
Ladies and gentlemen, go ahead.
Like she looks like someone that would have ate at Ruby Tuesdays.
She's pretty in shape to me.
That fateful Ruby Tuesdays night forever changed the course of her life.
Yeah, she got fit. She started taking care of her body, except her head.
And look at that. We see TJ in the comments even says like he's like, go back to the bio page. She's single, boys.
Oh, let's take a look at that.
Oh yeah. Yep, she is single.
I wonder why.
Well, let me tell you.
It's gotta be the gloves.
Probably.
You gotta never trust a girl that wears gloves. She's got man thumbs.
God, them gloves go all the way up, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
But
Not to mention her head's a sphere.
It might have something to do with that.
I looked
It's
over that.
spherical.
Honestly. That's crazy.
Imagine her coming. I'm here to get my headshots taken. Yeah,
Ma'am, that's disrespectful. I'm gonna have to ask you to leave.
So what's your best side?
Yeah.
The dome. It's all
The
of it.
shiniest part. Let me
Yeah.
polish it for you before we start.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. The shiny part. All right. So Ruby Thursday, you guys ready for this? Her name is Thursday Rubenstein.
Of course.
She
Come
was
on,
Thursday.
Marvel.
So we ready for some of her nicknames? Her nicknames are Bubblehead, Head Girl, Behave.
That Behave is one of her nicknames?
Wow.
Yeah, Head Girl is one of her nicknames. Angela Jagger, maybe because like the song Ruby Tuesday, and her name is Ruby Thursday. So Angela
Mick Jagger.
Jagger. Also, Gumball Head Lady. She is a part of the Headmen. She has an unnamed child. She has an unnamed daughter. She is single, guys, but she wasn't always single. I'll get into that a little bit later.
At least once.
Yeah, and distinguishing features. This may come as a surprise, but she has no eyes at all, right? As everybody.
And
can
how
see.
does she see?
Yeah, somehow she is able to see and hear and taste and and smell. I can't even smell, and I have a full nose. But Ruby Thursday can smell and everything. She can breathe. She can eat with her ruby head. Yeah, and her unusual features: no head, head replaced by a sphere of red plastic.
Wow.
Right?
But it's not plastic. It shifts and morphs.
Yes, it more it does so.
Okay,
Much.
do
Yes,
we
look at
have
that.
the info on who created this character?
Here we go. It was Steve Gerber and Sal Buscema. Mr. Buscema.
Bushima, I had more respect for you.
Buscema.
What did
Okay.
you do?
Well,
You take it back and you just redo. You do your best this time.
Sal Buscema, he was one of the creators of Ruby Thursday. And her first appearance was in Defenders 32 in November of 1975.
Way back.
She's got quite a bit of history. All right. There was no known about her childhood or anything like that. So Jamie, you could have been right. Maybe she hates Ruby Tuesdays or something.
I don't like. I'm gonna burn all my Bushima comics now.
It's Buscema, Jamie.
Not anymore.
No. Zeb Wells, eat your heart out. Dear freaking God.
I just got heartburn again. Oh.
Well, at least you didn't get head burn.
Well,
I mean, they do call her head girl, so you know.
Yeah,
Head
well,
girl.
for the wrong reasons.
So let's get back to we said head girl.
No, my
Gumball
disappointment is
Bubble
far
head.
greater than what we need to say next. Okay, I'm sorry. We've been through so many F-listers, and there's been some racial ones. There's been some ones like egg foo. There's been things, but this one, I'm ready to quit the show. I've never looked at a picture, thought of something, and went, how much LSD do you need to take to make that? Like,
let me help you figure that out.
Even TJ put in the comments, a lot of drugs back in 75.
No, yeah, TJ, I agree with that. I mean, her first appearance being Hulk 180 and all.
Jesus Christ.
Like, Wolverine has a lot of kids, and even he was like, I'm good.
Sorry,
or
Rude.
was he?
No, because he's actually a character that has a face.
Oh my God.
She is a shiny red ball of please don't.
Plastic.
It's not plastic. It morphs.
It's morphing plastic. It's like at that point where it's still kind of soft yet hard. It's heated.
Just shut up and don't try to make this better. It's not going to get any better. This defies physics on all bounds. My answer real fast, not making out of F-list, by the way. But, like, when you sit down in life as a comic book creator and go, I need a villain. Okay?
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
And
Mr.
you go,
Buscema.
what do you want her to do?
Bitch.
Male or female? Female. Okay, cool. Attractive? Yes. What's her power? Well, she's got no head. Okay,
Go on.
So please continue. Yeah, but it's like a weird like bubble. Yeah, you know what? That keep going, and it's made of plastic. That doesn't make sense, but it morphs.
All right.
Perfect.
What?
Sonny, I think this is the most controversial F-lister we've had so far.
No, it's not controversial. It's stupid.
Well, I may have to disagree with Ruby Thursday is quite a character.
Ooh.
So, hey, she was able to take on the Defenders.
Yeah, because they were trying to figure out who drew her.
Wait a minute, what's going on here?
And that's why that's why she was able to hit them, because they were just like, what is going on?
Yeah.
With this head attached to a body, with this
Are
thing.
our sales that low that we brought her in?
Hulk smash?
No, Hulk don't smash.
Well, okay.
We don't do that right now.
There was somebody who smashed before, but it's a bit later.
Hulk knows
in her life.
Okay. So yeah, I'm agreeing with Jamie on this one. She is not getting out of the F list.
Well, I'm gonna have to go through a little bit of her history before I before I decide. So Gorilla Man number 2 had Ruby Thursday join the Headmen, and they were villains. Obviously, they fought. The Defenders defeated them, and then after that, Ruby Thursday, she's actually very intelligent. She started a campaign for presidential. She started a campaign to run as a presidential candidate, but again, she was stopped by the Defenders. Later on in time, she had a character, someone she helped make called Debuck, and that was her sidekick. And eventually, they went to Las Vegas where they saw Omega the Unknown and Gramps were winning a lot of money in Las Vegas. So Ruby Thursday and Debuck decided to rob them. And as they were trying to rob these two, the police came. And the police just assumed that Omega was the guy in the wrong. Even though Ruby Thursday was trying to rob him, maybe they just saw her head and felt bad. So they assumed Omega was wrong.
I'm
and they
sorry, ma'am.
Yeah.
Just it's
We're
okay.
sorry about the disfigurement.
We
Yeah.
will take care of
So
this.
yeah, don't you can do whatever you want. And if a guy doesn't let you rob him, it's his fault. So they shot Omega and they killed Omega.
Oh my god!
Yeah, thanks to Ruby Thursday. But that wasn't the end of it. She was about to come across some tough ladies like Valkyrie and the Wasp. And let me tell you something, Wasp was not having it. And Wasp blasted Ruby Thursday in her head and destroyed it. She seemingly seemed dead. Debuck then sadly picked up the pieces of Ruby Thursday's head and took off. But that was not the end of Ruby Thursday. As you can see in that, she did come back in She-Hulk and she came back in Spider-Man. That's why with the one picture with Spider-Man, he even says, "I thought you were dead." And she just says, "Yeah, there it is. Yeah." See, they say, yeah, first question, aren't you dead? Look at her. Yeah, I got better. That's the explanation to how she got better. Just
Wow.
She got better.
So this character sucks even with monologuing.
It's not even over, Jamie. There's still more with Ruby Thursday and the Headman. So Chandu had died, and obviously I don't know how he died, but his head was missing. So Ruby Thursday and the Headman, they tried to take Chandu's head. First they tried to put it on She-Hulk. They were stopped. Then they said, okay, now let's put it on Spider-Man, even though a doctor, I believe it was Dr. Morgan, told them like it wouldn't work. It can't work. It's not feasible. You can't put his head on Spider-Man, so it wouldn't work. They still tried it. Still defeated again. And then this takes us back to another episode of the Codex podcast, how we reviewed Deathlock, the Souls of Cyberfolk.
Mm-hmm.
Ruby Thursday was one of the characters that were captured by Mechadoom.
Yeah.
One of the ones, yeah. So she didn't really have a big part. Like she was just like, you kind of see her. Like,
She was
I do remember
there.
that. Like, who is
Okay.
that character? That's a red head. Or a red ball as a head.
You know, real fast side note, side tangent. Uncle Gary really likes redheads. Do you think this might be the top of his Holy Grail comic book for
That
list?
could be.
We're gonna have to
TJ
ask
says
him.
her head could be a disco ball.
There's a very good chance that it could be used for one for sure.
Our very own Sal says he has never heard of her.
Now you have. I'm glad to be able to introduce everybody to Ruby Thursday.
There you
And Sal
go.
also said, yeah, she
Did she come back in modern day Moon Knight as 8-Ball?
8-Ball makes more sense.
Sal says she did some 8-Ball.
Well, here I'll tell you what else she did. Well, she was free from Mechadoom.
I'm done.
From Mechadoom, right? She got free. We know the story. We reviewed it. Check out another episode of the Codex podcast. She was free, and since she was, even though she was a villain, she didn't have anything to do with that, so they did let her go. But now we get on to some romance. We know she's single, but you know what, Jamie? Some people do like Ruby Thursday, and the answer to that question, you may be wondering who would be with Ruby Thursday.
Man Mountain Marco.
He probably would.
Oh, okay.
But the answer is the answer. A character named the Answer. Yep. She was once dating the Answer, but you know what? He was not the answer to her love life because Ruby Thursday ended that. She ended that relationship. But then they eventually got in touch again. And then she's like, hey, the word went around that Bullseye was trying to kill the Answer. But really, Bullseye was just trying to get to the Answer to get to Ruby Thursday. And Bullseye did. And he cut her head off. But you know what?
She's gone forever now?
That's not enough to kill Ruby Thursday. I guess
My
even cutting her head off, it does not stop her. So she was brought back again. She was even imprisoned with Wolverine. He made an escape. He helped her escape as he was trying to take on Romulus. And eventually, yeah, she did make an escape, and she gets defeated. But Ruby Thursday is still alive. So, Sal, I see your comment. Dead, dead, dead. Please say yes. The answer is no.
Oh my
So
god.
apparently, with Ruby Thursday, her head, even though it can explode, the wasp can blow it up, Bullseye can cut it off. There's no killing this woman. I guess she just doesn't need a head.
I
Okay.
just
And
need
she's
her
actually
out of
pretty
my
tough.
brain cells.
But you know what, guys? For all her powers, for all she's been through, also she does have the ability with her little red circle head, her red circle ball head, she can actually even transform it to make it look like it's a regular person. So I don't know why she doesn't do that often. So says, I wonder if she can make a bandana.
Possibly.
Yeah,
You
well,
know
she can
what?
even make a regular
At
head.
this point, I wonder if she could bring your job back.
She can do a lot. Well, she could turn herself to look like a woman. So for me, I think she could make herself look like a woman. Obviously, the power, she is tough and she is smart. She's been through a lot. I think just with the change of the head, if she just uses a regular form, I think Ruby Thursday can get out of the F list.
Oh.
And next year, Valentine's Day might be on a Thursday. So maybe Ruby Thursday will find love on Valentine's Day next year.
Wow. We'll see, I guess.
There's some things that are just better off not happening.
And
Like I think this is the most like upsetting F lister I've ever.
Yes.
I'm yeah, I'm done.
You have been.
Are we
triggered,
reviewing
Jimmy.
something today?
Yes, we are.
we are. Okay, yeah. So we got 2 no's for Ruby Thursday and 1 yes for Ruby Thursday. But now we move on to quite a review, and that is the story we're reviewing, and it's the Fantastic Four Full Circle.
Right there.
It's glad to have the original 3 reviewing another story. It's been a little while since we've reviewed one, so now here we are in the Code X podcast reviewing Fantastic Four Full Circle. And as usual, Tim, I will have you start us off with the credits.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Fantastic Four Full Circle is art and script by Alex Ross, colors by Alex Ross with Josh Johnson, and letters by Ariana Maher.
Okay, I will give us a bit of a run through of this story. We see the Fantastic Four, and they suddenly have an intruder. When the thing is about to have a nice sandwich, they spot somebody inside the Baxter building. He is covered with all black, and they look to see who is this man, and he falls, and they take him over, and they realize that this was the guy who tried to take the thing's identity all the way back in a classic Fantastic Four story, this man, this monster. Or this man.
Yeah, something
Okay.
like that.
Yes, the classic one, and I'm going to be beating myself up for mixing that up.
I think it's this man, this monster.
Yes, for this man, this monster. And we see he was the one back then. So they do explain what happened back then. And then as the Fantastic Four going over it, all these creatures come out of the mouth of this man and attack. But the Fantastic Four take care of them. But they realize, okay, they know where it's from. They realize that it is from the negative zone. So Mr. Van Reed says, it's time we go to the heart of the negative zone. And Invisible One says, yes, they came into my house too. I'm going to go with you. So it is the Fantastic Four. And they go on this journey, this crazy journey to get into the negative zone with this incredible artwork. And the thing even so, it's making me sick how it takes them to get there. They travel and they get to this world. And who do they see? They spot that the villain is Annihilus. They say, okay, we got to take care of Annihilus. And as they're going through their, going around, they've suddenly come across Janus the Mega Man, or is the thing said, wait, did you say Mega Man? So, and Janus is like a head, all these heads today. So, showing all these like horrible monsters coming at them, and they're dealing with Janus, and then quickly deal with Annihilus. When Annihilus comes, I was a bit surprised at how fast it took them to escape from Annihilus. They escape from Janus, and they even Mr. Fantastic even tells Janice. Like you're not actually Janice. You're basically like the essence of what
Mhm.
was Janice, and they escape and they go to the anti-Earth. But before they go there, one part I do want to mention is, they see the anti-Earth, and Mr. Reed says, "Let's go." And the thing, one of my favorite parts is the thing. He stops him and he gets mad. He said, "Look at, you just there's no point to go there. You just want to go there for research. Look at what happened last time. Look at what happened to me. Look at what I became
Yeah.
because of what you wanted to do. We don't need to do this." And then they talking. Sue, she even says, Reed wouldn't just do this just on hoping to get research. He plans everything out. He thoroughly thinks everything through. So they decide to go there, and they do go to the anti-Earth, and they come across a character they were not expecting to find, somebody from a classic old Fantastic Four story. But I'll stop my run through right there. One big thing for me is that the artwork of this story is, I think, some of the best artwork I've ever seen in any stories, and I really want to focus, especially. So there's a bit of some stuff right there. For me, I think it's one of the best I've ever seen the Thing look. I love
Yeah.
the way he looked in the story. There's when they were going into the negative zone, and it's a fun story. It is not too long. It's a quick read. I read the whole thing in one sitting, and to me, it's something special. Because like I said, it doesn't go with the current comics. It doesn't go with any runs with the Fantastic Four. It's just a story on its own.
Mhm.
And for me, like I said, the artwork is some of the best that I think I've ever seen in any comic books. It's a good, quick story. For me, one thing I would do you want to mention too, the inking, the colors, and everything really popped out. So I want to mention that too. With the artwork being one of the best, I think for me, the artwork goes even more than 10. But for me, the story, I enjoyed it. I think it's a really fun ride. It's a fun ride for Fantastic Four. If you feel like, hey, let me check out a story, you're on this little ride with the Fantastic Four along with the team. But I felt that I wanted more of a villain. When I saw Annihilus, I was like, okay, good.
Mhm.
This is great to have Annihilus as the villain. I love Doctor Doom. I think he's one of the best villains, but every Fantastic Four story doesn't need him.
Right.
They can give a showcase to the other characters. So I thought I was going to get more of Annihilus, and there wasn't too much of the villains. They kind of got away from Annihilus quick. They got away from Janice quick, and I don't want to give too much away at the end. But the Thing even said at one point, he's like, "Huh, no explosions." I admit I felt a little bit the same way. That was the one thing is I felt the story could have been bigger, and I did want to see more of a villain. I did like to see the redemption of a certain character at the end,
Mhm.
but I do want to see more of a story. But with the artwork being just so special, and I think this is, like I said, even to the way it comes in, it's not like a regular book. It's a different kind of hardcover,
Yeah, it's like
dust
an
jacket.
oversized hardcover.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like an oversized. Like I said, for me, it's a fun one shot, and I think it will go down as something that like years from now people will still be talking about the story. But with the story, like I said, it wasn't my favorite story wise, but the artwork was just so good that
Mhm.
it brings my rating up to, well, I'll just say it. I, Sonny Kruger from the Codex Podcast and the Codex Station, give the Fantastic Four Full Circle a 9 out of 10. I really,
Oh.
like I said, the artwork, absolutely loved it, but the story I felt could have had more. But still a great story. So the artwork is just something
Okay.
I will always come back to. So now, Tim the Terrible. Do you think the story was fantastic, terrible, like Ruby
Uh
Thursday? Could use
so
more Ruby Thursday.
no. So I enjoyed the story. Number one, let's talk about the best part of this book, the artwork. The artwork, Sonny, as you said, it is phenomenal. It's gorgeous. This is Alex Ross being Alex Ross, and it looks absolutely fantastic, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, there's just here, I'll go to a different page, right? There's just so
Yeah.
much going on here, and it is amazing. The colors, the inks, the lettering, all of it is wonderful. It's absolutely great. And even on the inside you get this little extra fold out too that
And
goes
it is
over
an
the
important story to that part because it tells when they
yeah.
got their powers. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So the artwork, I mean, that's a 10 out of 10 all day long. The story, however, I have some criticisms about that. So Annihilus is one of my favorite Fantastic Four villains, and I'm right there with you, Sonny. I wanted more. I wanted more Annihilus, but I felt like you did that they just got away from him way too easy. Same with Negaman. Like Alex was kind of positioning Negaman to be the villain of the story. And then he was there for a couple of pages, and then they got away from him too. Uh, I felt like the story kind of bounced around a lot. Like you were getting right into the groove of something, and then next page you're on something totally different. Or they have sped it up so that way instead of them falling through the air, now they're on the ground and they're already moving. So that kind of took me out a little bit. I wanted a more even paced story. I love the fact that Alex Ross was able to channel Stanley and Jack Kirby in the modern sense. The dialogue was perfect as far as being like the classics was. Yeah, it was great. It was like reading a comic from the 60s. And the coloring, helped bring you into that vibe, and that was really awesome too. But I think with trying to pay as much respect to the classic as possible while still trying to do a modern take, I think that took away a little bit from the structure of the story. And I think that kind of suffered. So artwork gets a 10 out of 10. Writing gets an 8 out of 10. It's a great story, wonderful read. I think you should go out and get it. Ollie's, if you have one near you, they usually have them there. Get it for $5. It's well worth it. So overall, like you, Sonny, this gets a 9 out of 10 from me.
Interesting. Now,
Yeah.
Jamie, I'm interested to see what
Yeah.
you have to say about it. Yeah, let's hear it.
When we got thrown this little doozy to review, I was actually excited to review it because I've had a few instances of Fantastic Four. I've never been a Fantastic Four fan because I never really got into them.
Yeah.
But I was excited for a jumping on point because it's basically a modern retelling, but not retelling of
Right.
a good story, a classic.
And you have to have basic Fantastic Four knowledge, and you know exactly what the hell's going on.
And as soon as I, read that Alex Ross, and I was set. But I was devastated reading this book.
Ooh.
And I'll tell you why. So, like you guys said, talking about the whole Annihilus jump, that's a great point where it felt like you were cheated out of something that should have been there. Like with Negaman, Annihilus, it literally just felt like, hey, bye. Like your ADHD just kicked in and just left. Like Shiny over here. Then there was what bothered me the most is when they went to the anti-Earth, right? They get there and everyone's got guns drawn at them, ready to attack. They don't speak their English, on their Earth. And even, I won't say, the character, but even when they're talking to a certain character, like the troops behind them are still being like shady and rude.
Yeah.
And there's no like meat with those potatoes. Like there's nothing that goes with it. Like, are they gonna backstab them? Because that's what it feels like the entire time, and then nothing came out of it. Not even like they like you or they want to kill you. Like there's nothing to it. Just with like the writing alone, I felt like there was a couple parts where even like, yeah, I like the one-liners, especially from Thing where he's like, what, everyone got suits and I'm shorts again?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Things like that was cool. I enjoyed that. But overall, I just thought the story was just, it was weak. Like there was no...
That's pretty fair, though.
I expected more from a Fantastic Four story, even if it's the worst Fantastic Four story you've ever read. Like, I expect more out of it. And I didn't get that in this. There was no big battle. There was no big anything. It was just telling. Mm-hmm. But there was nothing that drew you in to make you want to care. To me, it just had nothing. So for that, with the writing, I'm going with a 4. Like, wow. I did not like how this was written. The only thing that made it a 4 was the little one-liners and the fact that they kind of talked about their kids.
Yeah.
For like a panel.
You got to see them in one panel.
Yes. Now, the part that kills me is how this book was laid out.
Oh, okay.
I absolutely love Alex Ross's work. There's no denying any of that. I think that the line work and how he drew it, fantastic. The lettering, amazing. Two problems. The colors, I could not stand. I did not think they were beautiful. I thought they were there was no color coordination that made this make sense to me.
That's fair.
You didn't like the differences in the color. How would it
It
changed
was
a lot.
not even the contrast of the
More than-
colors.
Like the neon and stuff like that.
It made no sense for like you. I've never read a story where they're standing in their home and there's 7 different colors.
That's true. That's
Like,
true.
there's no reason for it. If they were like in the negative zone and that was it, understandable. But there's no reason that the thing is making a sandwich in the kitchen and there's 32 colors in his sandwich. Like, no, you don't need that. It just
Fantastic sandwich.
and he even said it's the greatest sandwich you could ever make, but it did not make me want it. Second thing is, I feel like if you look at, I think it's the last page when they're talking, when Reed's talking to the Thing, and the Thing was they were having a serious moment.
Yeah.
The expression on the Thing's face while he's talking to Reed made no sense for the panel.
That right there.
Yeah, like where he's chewing, he looks like he's just surprised when he really shouldn't be.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that happens throughout the book in its entirety. I just remember that one off the top of my head. But there's a lot of instances where the expressions don't match what the character's doing at that time. So, unfortunately for me, I love his art in this. I think he drew, no matter what, Alex Ross is amazing. I think the colors ruined it for me. Everything else was good. So I'm going to give the art a 7 out of 10 on this one. So overall, I'm going to give this whole story a 5.5.
Wow.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Between everybody's counting, I would be interested to see different things, but that's why we do the reviews.
A lot of people that were like, "This was fantastic. This is classic." Blah blah. Now I haven't read the classic, so you guys got to deal with somebody that's literally jumping into a new book of a retelling of an old classic and bringing this into a modern form.
So let me ask you this then, Jamie. Do you think that this was a poor starting on point for
Absolutely,
any
110%. If someone asked me, even if it was a comic character of the week episode, where's the starting on point? I would tell you this is not a starting on point.
This is not it. So do you think that like with something like this, you have to have more than just cursory knowledge of Fantastic Four?
Yes, you have to have background knowledge of what's happened in the past, what they've been through. Yes, that's 110%. But it just coming into it, like the beginning felt like a Fantastic Four story, and then when it hit the second act and then the last, dude, no.
That's fair. That's fair. All right. So Sonny, 9 out of 10. Me, 9 out of 10. Jamie, 5.5 out of 10. Okay.
Yeah, there. Yeah.
I mean, the 5.5 still ain't bad.
That's true.
It's
That's true.
Not the best thing.
I think
you didn't like the hype. Like, I mean, a lot of people love it. And actually, I really enjoyed it. I loved the way the artwork was. And then I said, but not everybody has to like it. Like I said, I liked it, and you didn't care for, So.
Well, see, it's like with Exo Manowar. Sonny, you and I loved that. We thought that was amazing. Jamie, you absolutely hated it.
I tore that. Then that's what came to mind when I was doing this review. Like, I was sitting there like I hated. I'm like, is this worse than Exo Manowar? And I had to sit there and think about it.
And both of the books I chose.
Yeah. So we're starting to see where Tim's taste and my taste just don't get along.
And one interesting thing is that how you said that you don't think it would be a good starting off point. I mean, I have read Fantastic Four before, so I mean, I really am invested.
But for me, jumping in, it's not like For me, it would be more along the lines of like going up against a singular villain and understanding their past and talking about what happened previously to get to this point, rather than go, oh guys, look, Annihilus. Okay, well, now we're gonna go over here. There's Mega Man. Okay, now we're never gonna see them again. Let's go over here to this other world.
Gives you the impression that those villains may not be as disastrous.
Important. And Annihilus is a huge villain.
He's enormous.
Literally enormous.
Yeah.
But they made it seem like it felt like when I was reading it, it was a Scooby-Doo episode where they were sneaking around the villain to take off his mask.
That's
For me, I
true.
felt like it was more of an adventure than because, like I said, it wasn't like said really action. It was just quick
Yeah.
little parts, but felt like it was more of an adventure with the Fantastic Four. So I was almost going to say like I was thinking like, oh, if there was somebody new, it would be a good gift to give them, like to get somebody started. But it's interesting how you say you don't think it is. But
This is definitely
Yeah,
a
that's fine.
love letter to the Kirby and Lee days. That's exactly what
You
it is.
and yeah, you definitely see that, and I'm
Yeah.
not denying that by
Yeah.
any means necessary. But it comes a point where it's like, okay, if you know those days and you have the info in front of you, or you've had the comics before, or you've
Yeah.
had some type of media to get you to that point, cool. Then it's understandable.
Yeah.
But someone that's jumping in and doesn't understand that concept in the past, or doesn't have their kind of media, or doesn't have a recollection of these characters, no.
That's fair.
I feel like
That's
this is
very
almost like
fair.
a treasury kind of issue where if you love the Fantastic Four, go get that book.
Yeah.
If you don't know the Fantastic Four, maybe try something else.
There you
Okay.
go. Okay.
Before we wrap it up, there's a question, and I believe it's for Jamie.
Oh, let's take a look here. So TJ says you can only have one comic book. Which would you rather read, Full Circle or a Ruby comic?
Right now, I'd rather read the Ruby.
Oh, all right.
I'd rather be pissed off and enjoy myself than waste another 30 minutes reading that thing again.
Wow. Okay.
I hope there's a sequel. Fantastic Four, another full circle, but this time Ruby Thursday is in there. I would read it. I would read it.
Full Circle to Fuller Circle.
It's a sphere.
Well, guys,
Oh
it
my
was
God.
an interesting episode. A great review. I do like that. I do like when, obviously, I love when we can all enjoy something, but I do like sometimes when we have different
Yeah.
opinions. When we can talk and discuss things. Yes. So I'm glad we finally got to go over and review Fantastic Four Full Circle. And now I can say that next week we will have Sale, the slab guy, coming onto the Codex podcast for the first time. And once again, Dan Kelly will be joining me. And we are set to review Daredevil 189.
Nice.
So looking forward to that. And then lately I've been working on my goodbyes for you, but I forgot to practice it this week. So this week I can just say, like, see you guys later. Jamie and Tim will end the show off.
Wow. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give you some business real quick, and then our illustrious Jamie is going to take us home. Ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed the type of content that you saw tonight, please make sure and find us at the Codex Station on your favorite social media platforms and where we're live streaming right now. The best thing you can do for it's hit the like, share, subscribe, and follow. It lets the algorithm know that we are super awesome and we need to be shown to other people too. And we would love to do that. We love your company, but we want their company too. At the Codex Station, ladies and gentlemen. And also head
We
on
have the
over.
socials and we want to give them to you.
There you go. And then, ladies and gentlemen, you can head over to thecodexstation.com for all your Codex needs. Get some merch, meet the team, and so much more. Once again, thecodexstation.com. And you can get some stickers too, ladies and gentlemen. We got one more thing from chat, and then Jamie, it is all yours. TJ says, great show, guys. Hope you all have a great night/morning. You too.
Thank you, TJ.
Thank you. And I'm glad you enjoyed it. I hope you have a good night/morning as well.
There we go. Jamie, go for it.
All right, guys. Thank you to everyone who came today, watch us do our weekly shows. We appreciate it. We appreciate everybody out there that's liked, shared, followed, subscribed. Whoever's on this community that we have, and we're just continuously growing. I mean, we've made friends in this media that we do. We've grown bigger than we've thought we could be in the past, and they all took you guys. So I just want to say thank you, as always, from the bottom of my heart, and I know from these guys too as well, for always being fans, and that we love you. We can't wait for the next one, and we will see you in the next one, which is tomorrow.
Thursday, like Ruby Thursday.